Are we on? Are we on? Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I am your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And oh boy, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Bronx, New York native from Wings Academy, where he was an all-city performer for 4 straight years, and the school's all-time leading scorer with 2,156 points. He participated in the annual Jordan Classic. And who can forget the legendary Wheelchair Classic? For those of you who know about the Wheelchair Classic, leave thumbs up in the comment box and on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you make your way to NYC Basketball Network. Go to my bio, click on the link. It'll direct you straight to the show so you can see my next guest. He was also a McDonald's All-American nominee. And as you can see, I got mine right there. My hand out the way. So we in good company. He was highly recruited out of high school, but went to JUCO at Panola Junior College, where he averaged 22 points before accepting a scholarship to attend Florida International University. At FAMU, he was a standout guard and graduated with a master's degree in educational leadership. That's what I'm talking about, transitioning to the next level, baby. That's what we do. New York City basketball strong. Once his college career was over, he suffered a tragic injury that would end his ball-playing career. I'm not going to let it out the bag. I'm letting him explain it for himself. In 2013, he started the Granada Built to Win Classic, a 501c3 nonprofit organization where he services up to 300 kids during the summer. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the show, Wings Academy High School great and Florida International University standout, Rasheem Jenkins.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast, go hard. West Coast, go hard. Midwest, go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody, get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening, my brother?
What's going on, Paul Hardy? I appreciate coming on this show. Appreciate you having me on Basketball Heads. It's an honor to be on this show, and I appreciate you holding up the city of New York City.
No doubt, man. It's good to have you on, brother. Just lean up just a little bit more. More so people can see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on being in this car, but damn.
Nah, okay. It's all good. My guy Eric Weaver said, what's up? Said, my
Weaver,
guy
what's
Rob.
up? That's my guy.
No doubt. Let me tell you, quick story. E. Weaver, a year and a half ago, when I was still on Instagram, he was like, yo, Pooh, you got to get you some merch, man. You got to get you some merch. Right off the bat. And that was in the plans. But hearing it from an OG like that, who's been around the game, who's ref so many tournaments and games throughout New York City and knows so many ball players, I knew I had to step it up. And he was the first one to cop a hoodie. So, yo, E, I got a coach's shirt for you. On me. All right? This is real. Because I appreciate you, brother. And he always supports. So, much love to Eric Weaver. No doubt.
E. Weaver's family.
No doubt. And that's like exactly what he said, too. He said family. Facts. Exact words. So, you know how I go, Rob. Who introduced you to the game, brother?
Introduced me to the game at the age of, I want to say like 9 or 10. We had in my projects in Edenwald project was no real basketball hoops around there. It was like 2 garbage cans playing there. When we was growing up, we would see like Shane come with and one tour there. His window was like right there. Me and his son would like use the court thinking that we was at 55th, like, just playing on the garbage cans. And we used to
Right.
always use the electricity out his door or his building. And we started playing right there as we seen like the and one tour bus would come. And we never had the courts fixed where I was at. So that's the first time I got introduced by just playing in the garbage can, just learning how to play. I didn't have no trainer or no pops to come that bring me to the park and teach me any moves or this is how the game should be brung. Like followed after that, it was like teams that I played with. It was like the Bronx Kings. They had like UDC, Nike Swish Uptown. Those like the best tournaments uptown UDC. I used to live like there on 215, but go from 215 to Edenwald back and forth. So every time I had a game at like UDC, I would stay like closer to 215 because it was on 216 and just play there. So that's how I got introduced to the game, just by playing on the garbage can, starting there, using the electricity.
Listen, you from New York City and any inner city from around the country, that's how it usually starts, right? I saw this post that this dude put up. He had a crate on a tree. He was like, you ain't from the hood if you ain't start playing basketball on this. It was like the crate, right? It was the garbage can, or was the hang in the house on the door.
Right. Yeah. That's like the only way to start.
Yeah. You gotta start somewhere, man. Gotta start somewhere. So did you let's talk about the park that you grew up in, right? Let's talk about the park you grew up in and what was life like growing up in and around Edenwald?
Edenwald project was like, it's like every day you wake up, you just hoping that you could just make it home safe, get out the building. Some early mornings you might see a body laying down in the hallway before you go to school at a young age, and happen to step over a body. Living in that project was crazy. Just being from there, like you was targeted. You know what I'm saying? They ask you like, hey, where you from? Sometimes you're not scared to say you from Edenwald, but if I say that, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it home. So you got to say like, yo, I'm from wherever. I'm from Secor, or I'm from Gun Hill Road, just to, just to fit in. So growing up in Edenwald was like gentrified. So it was like pros and cons. It helped you be a better man about your character. So playing basketball was able to escape the projects. It gave me that reason to escape the projects of going there. The people there is good people, like elderly people, younger people. I just feel like us as Black people was like our only downfall. Like we would hold up our neighbors and shoot our neighbors and our friends, and you could just be playing Nintendo with me the next day, and then tomorrow you shooting me or you shooting my cousin. Where back in the days when you grew up, Pool, you could have a fist fight maybe, and dudes could still be friends, and y'all still go to the park maybe in Coney Island or something, or Freeport, and still play one-on-one. Now, when we was growing up, everything was like gun violence. So it was like growing up there, we was young. It was like you seeing like a lot of crack bottles on the floor. So it would be terrorized. You couldn't really be outside at a certain time. That's all you heard was like, and the precinct was just so close. The parks was never fixed in Edenwald. None of the parks was never fixed in Edenwald. So I used to always go behind Sousa Park. It wasn't too far. Like Cardinal Spellman would be like right there.
Mm-hmm.
We used to always go back there, work on our game at nighttime. I used to play one-on-one to the park. It used to be crazy because the police used to come back there and be like, look, y'all got to leave the park. They was like, nah, we need 10 more minutes. And they'd sit there in the car and watch us hoop and stuff like that. They're like, it's dangerous back here. Where y'all guys from? We used to be from Edenwald, but we ain't want to say it because they really going to say, yo, let me search these guys' bags and something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm from 241st. We just trying to, work out. We play basketball. So you don't see the detective just watching over us because it's dark. And it was just crazy things going on at that time at a young age. Like, at that time, it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, you can't just play ball as little kids in the park just trying to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So the parks was never fixed in Edenwald, which is crazy time.
It's crazy, right? When you talk about the gun era, right? When that kind of happened, and I just look back on just the whole situation when a lot of the OGs get locked up, and I'm not, condoning their crime or what they was doing, but it was some kind of order, and then you knew at a certain age where you fit in, right? There was maybe an order of things. So when guys got to the point where they lost a fight, right? And I think just the art of the fisticuff game kind of went down and dudes couldn't do these no more, the easiest thing to do was shoot someone, especially that looked like you. And we're in this era now when, you know, we kind of jump on each other faster than other people jump on us.
Right.
Right. And I don't want to go into the whole thing that's going on now, but you get what I'm saying. With the stuff that's going on out in the media with a certain rapper and a certain community, and we don't sit back and say, you know, when are we going to stop the madness towards each other? Because we make everything rock, we make everything hot. We the ones that, you know, got these corporations and Nikes and Adidas and where you name them, all the sneaker companies, we got them hot.
Right.
And I just think the more we take a chance on each other, you know, just take a chance on each other and make sure that we stick together, kind of what we doing tonight, right? I'm here to give you your flowers, brother, and let you know that we proud of your accomplishments and what you was able to do with your life, and then coming back to your community and helping others, because not too many people are doing that. So you doing that, brother. So you definitely deserve your flowers, and it's bigger than basketball, right?
Right, correct.
We know you put it down, you bust a lot of people's ass, and we're gonna get into that, right? But
Right.
the biggest thing for me, what you was able to do for your community and what you're doing to this day. So salute to you, brother.
Definitely appreciate you. And brothers, just to piggyback on a little bit what you said, like, we got to stop killing us and for us to move together. A lot of dudes are scared to help that next generation or tell them, listen, put the guns down. Instead of telling the jail stories, tell the kids, like, you don't want to go to jail. You want to sweep up anybody's floor in the jail for 8 cents a day when you could go out here and make $50 an hour or $40 an hour and be free. You're not getting no reward for going to jail. So basketball was one of those things that kept us out of trouble. That was like another friendly place to play at, just to be in the playgrounds and not escape the violence.
You know what the kid said to me today? No, he said it to me yesterday. Salute to my student Manny. You know who you are, young king. He said, you know, so crazy, man, that we celebrate the guys who come home from jail. Why is it like that? He asked me that. Young brother, 15, 14, 15 years old, right? And think about all the dudes who get props when they come home from jail. How many parties, you got a party thrown when you got your master's?
Nope.
Did the hood throw you a celebration?
When we should be coming to the table, putting together business ideas with each other instead of baby showers and people come home.
No, hold on. And that's cool. But when you got your, brother, you got your master's in educational leadership, right?
Yep.
Well, a lot of people, sometimes they leave school, they don't get the finish. You got yours. There was no celebration. For me, there was no, I got a master's degree. There was no party. Nobody in my family threw a big party. But I know there's plenty people in my family who came home from prison, and it's not knocking them. But I think sometimes we get it backwards, right? They all need support. Everybody needs support. But what happened to the celebration of accomplishment? I was the first in my family to graduate college. In my immediate family, I had an older cousin who also went to Columbia University. I think he was the first, you know, and then it was myself. But in my immediate family, I was the first. So, you know, for your accomplishments and for the things that we did just outside of basketball, that basketball has something to do with it, but it was us in the classroom putting in that work for us to get that degree, man. So I just think us as society, we gotta flip it around. Salute to my guy, Joe Jackson in the building. Western House, great. Bowling Green, great. You need to be in the Hall of Fame too at Bowling Green, fam. We need to do something about that. And speaking of Hall of Fame, do you know or have you ever heard of Steve the Bear Shepherd?
Of course, that's the OG from the hood. From my hood, way older than me, but he a legend, played in the Olympics, did his things the whole 9 yards. I actually was with him this summer at Edenwald Day when he came by. The Bear's that guy, you know what I'm saying? And he put on for Edenwald. And he's the reason why I was Edenwald Day. A lot of people don't know the story. The Bear. He was like, when he came back from the Olympics, he was the first. They started putting on Edenwald Day back in the days for him. E. Mobley. We got a lot of ball
Salute
players
E
that come out
Mobley.
of the
Yes,
project.
definitely.
That
Salute
come
E
out of
Mobley.
this project, because the project is like the second biggest or the first biggest after, I want to say, Queensbridge, I would say. So it was came like Edenwald Project. So
Wow.
you can get lost over there. So many buildings, different side, the north side, the south side. You know what I'm saying? But the Bears definitely legendary.
My bad, Joe. My bad. I forgot. Wright State. My bad. Went to Wright State. Still deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why I keep getting that mixed up. You're right. E. Weaver went to high school with him. Who you went to high school with, the Bear? E?
Wow.
No. Say word.
I ain't know that.
So Mike Napolitan, Mike Nat, we call him Napolitan. I mess his name up, but we call him Nat. He's a referee. He used to play for Clinton. He won a 78 MVP in a city championship. Wow. So he the one, I interviewed him because I knew his accomplishments at Clinton. And there's a video of them playing in the city championship game. And I wanted to get him on the show because I know a lot of guys, especially my guy, Eric Hicks, that run Game Over, told me about Nap. So I got Nap on the show, and Nap is telling me about his guy, the Bear. He was like, yo, you got to get my guy, the Bear, on the show. He played the Olympics, one of the best players at the University of Maryland, All-American from Clinton. He's put me on, right?
Definitely.
So I put him on, and we have an awesome interview. Derek Chivas hit me up. Derek Chivas, Holy Cross All-American, McDonald's All-American. He put Missouri basketball on the map, and he played in the NBA for the Houston Rockets, and of course overseas as well. But he was just like, yo, the Bear was that guy, yo. I was patterning my game after the Bear. And Derek Chivas is the guy who I looked up to.
Right.
So he's talking about the Bear, and it just amazed me. And I always want to just mention him and give him his props, especially we got a Edenwald great on here tonight. We want to shed light on all the ball players that came out of Edenwald, and celebrate you guys, man, because it's a long list of ball players that come out of there, man. So salute.
Definitely. We appreciate
wow. Butch Lee. Yeah, I'm in contact with Butch Lee. So we trying to set up a date now. So it's crazy. BX, so many ball players. That's crazy. So when did you start to take the game serious? Like at what age did it kick in?
I would say 13, 14 years old, like my freshman year of high school. I started taking it serious when I went to Wings Academy my freshman year. And we had the high school coach. You started learning how to practice hard, and you playing against older people. Some dudes is 19, 20, or 18, and now you want to know how it's getting serious. You could possibly get a scholarship to go to college for free. They start telling you that part. Then you started learning late about the SAT and the ACT, and then I started taking it serious as far as like, yo, I could possibly go to college and play Division I. When we used to have practices in Forest Houses, Coach Bingo was coaching us. Also, we used to play against Alan Ray, Curtis Stinson, all them dudes used to come from Villanova, Randy Floyd, just to come on the weekend when it was free, just to give us a practice at 14. That was our practice. That was our pickup runs. Sometimes Chris Smith, little brother, used to come. J.R. Smith, little brother, used to come. Chris Smith.
Wow.
I could go on and on and on with different players. It used to be a closed practice. Howard Garfinkel used to show up there. Tom Konchowski and more. Like, just to have a closed gym practice. And these dudes used to be there. Like, this is our run. You know what I'm saying? AJ Price, and I could go on and on. Rasheen to beat, like, that's a fact. Bingo, yep. Coach Bingo.
Y'all see that? New York City legendary coach.
And Coach
Facts.
Bingo.
I got to get him on the show, man, so you can make that contact for me. I know it's a couple of people I know that got his number, and I always see him in passing. But, we never set up a date, man. I would love to have him on, man. So that's dope. You come from a great line of coaches, man. So That's awesome. Did you do like the JV route? Then when you went to varsity, or you went straight to Vars?
Nah, straight to varsity for 4 years. My first game was thrown into the fire. I think we went out to Banneker and played. It was like Gary Forbes and all these different dudes. And we had I was a freshman. That was our first. We got thrown into the fire. You know what I'm saying? It was just like him and another kid named Garfield Johns from my team was going at it. I had a little 14 points. I'm just now learning, playing against older teams and better teams. You're going out to Brooklyn and stuff like that. Out in Brooklyn, y'all like, y'all come thugging it like, yo, you gotta bring it, or they gonna elbow you in the mouth and all that. They bumping us and all that. We bumping them back. So, that was like my first real taste of blood when I went out there to Banneker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll play against the Queens, the Cardozas, and the Victor Morris and all that. So, yeah, that was like my first taste. Like, so I played varsity all 4 years from freshman year.
Wow. I was gonna ask you. That was gonna be one of my questions. Did you ever come on Brooklyn and play? But you went through the fire early, so
yeah, Lincoln. We had scrimmages with Lincoln. We played against Queens. We definitely was always playing against Brooklyn schools.
Yeah,
it was like that
for sure. Yo, Joe, sad to say, E. Mobley passed away, man. So rest in peace, E. Mob. What up, Corey? How you doing, brother? Thanks for joining the show. Yeah, my guy Joe Jackson asked, whatever happened to E. Mobley. He played with him, yeah.
Mobley, Pittsburgh, stand out.
Wow, he played with Gil. E. Mobley played with Gil Reynolds? That's crazy. Yeah. I didn't know that. Small world, man. Small world.
Yeah, Shane do E. Mobley Day now every August.
Yeah.
Day, Eric Mobley.
And because they both went to Salesian, right?
Yeah, they both went to Salesian. You got Derek Frazier, you got Marion Cash, Bud. You go on and on. Scoochie Smith, Emmy. We go on and on and on. Just like the Brooklyn lineup of players. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. And I want to salute my guy, Shane Jewel Machine Woney. He has been nominated and accepted to the Westchester Community College Hall of Fame. So salute my guy.
Salute to him on that.
Shane Jewel Machine from that accomplishment, man. That's definitely big. Yep. So who had a hand in shaping you as a young man? Like, who had a hand in shaping you, not just only as a player, but as a person?
Like a mentorship?
Mentorship, people in your family. Who was the people that kind of steered you in the right direction?
When I used to coming up, it was just like, we used to go to Baychester all the time. We used to be a Coach O, Elliot Rosado. I don't know how, most of y'all really know him. His son is playing right now at Dayton, Malachi Smith. He was like one of my great mentors and coaches. And, we used to have 2-a-day workouts. And he used to come all the way up to train from work and, meet us at Baychester Gym just to get a workout in. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all played with the Wiz kids, also Muggsy, legendary Muggsy. We played with them. And then Books and Ball was old. So he was like one of my biggest mentors growing up. And keeping us off the street, always having the gym open, just coming up just to play basketball. We used to stay till like 11, 12 at night just to run. Ben Gordon used to come through, my Vernon Cats, and we used to play against them, have crazy workouts. So those are things that kept me motivated. And one of my mentors is Elliot Rosado, seeing him coming up.
Yeah, salute to Elliot Rosado, man. That's right, Coach O.
Coach KC, my son KC, coaching with the not the Wrens. He coaching with Munch.
Munch. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know exactly who you talking about. I know exactly who you talking about. Yep.
Casey influenced us also. He was coaching with the Bronx Kings for a little bit, and now he coaching with Munch. So coming up, those are the people who influenced us.
What can you say was some of the things that kind of stuck with you? Any lessons that coaches taught you, or some of the things that you keep in your in your bag now that you pass down to the youngsters?
Like always be on time, always work hard for what you want. Like, so if you got practice at 6, try to get there at 5:30. Put up some shots, start stretching, eating well. Be battle tested. Always have character. And those are some of the things that took. Because some dudes, used to come late when you won, or if you felt like you was ranked, you felt like you didn't have to work as hard, or you felt like everybody else was trash, or you was way better than them. Like, stay motivated. You know what I'm saying? You would have dudes like Corey Fisher come, my boy Dwight Hardy. All of us would come up. You know what I'm saying? The runs would be crazy. So you got to stay motivated when you got dudes like that, Edgar Sosa, everybody in your age group that's there. And I could keep going on, even with Brooklyn dudes over there, MG3,
Yes,
all of
right.
them over there too. I could keep going on and on. You know what I'm saying?
Woo.
That's dead nice. I had Bashy, all these dudes. So you got to stay motivated in that type of class where that's the only thing you got to do. Your character's going to speak, because if you slip one time, you could be off the rankings, or it could be over for you. You know what I'm saying? You could get forgotten about. So New York City is very, very talented. So that's some of the things that stuck with me as a coach. Always work hard, have character, and be on time.
That's very important. Being on time. The recruit that's at Jackson State, the cornerback. If anybody knows his name, I know you know his name, E. Weaver. The cornerback for Jackson State, the top recruit. He said that. He said, he was the number one player in the country, and there was some things he needed to work on. And one of the things he needed to work on was being on time, because he was always late. And playing for Coach Deion Sanders, he demanded that he be on time. And I believe, like you said, being a half hour early, so it's better to be ready so you don't got to get ready.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? That's real.
So I want to tell, I tell the younger guys now, be on time, being ready. As a coach, you don't want to chase a player. They should be chasing you, waiting on you. So if you got to chase him or her, then somebody going to replace their spot. You know what I'm saying? So even for work, if you're working a job, you still got to be on time. Or if you have your own business, you still got to be on time. You don't want your workers seeing you come late or never putting in any type of work, because they're going to feel a type of way and not work as hard. They feel like it don't mean nothing to you. Then why should I work as hard as that? So I don't mind getting dirty too. You know what I'm saying? So
that's real. So who was the best player in your neighborhood when you was coming up?
The best players, like older guys or younger guys? Some of the best, or just anybody?
Anybody. Like who was the person that everybody was chasing to be like?
We got a lot of players. I'm gonna start with the older generation. You would say
you don't got to name a whole bunch of dudes. When you was younger, who was the guy in the neighborhood that was like, you know what? Oh, it was too many to name. That could be possible.
It was too many to name, because the project was loaded with talent. There's some people that I never seen play before.
Right.
But the names you hear, I'm gonna just say like half of the projects you want to be like everybody. It was like a dog fight. You know what I'm saying? Some you would be like, yeah, I want to be like Bud, Marion Cash. I want to be like Shane. I want to be like Derek Frazier. You know what I'm saying? And some other dudes that's nice too. I want to be like the Bear from what you hear. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like, it could be a bunch of players that we don't know about. That's dead nice. Eric Mobley and on and on and on. So it's hard to me to say that.
Who was the person that you saw play? And thanks, Corey. I appreciate it. His name was Travis Hunter, the guy from Jackson State. Sorry about that. Just want to get that in. Yeah, that was the guy from Jackson State. But who was the guy that you wanted to be like?
Growing up, seeing in my head, like if I went to games and I played with them, I would say like, those eras would be like Bud, Marion Cash. I would say like Shane, Derek Frazier. Like Derek Frazier took me at 16 to play like in Big Dogs in Harlem on 135th. I was in wings. I'm going into my 11th grade year. He's like, yo, we got a game. I'm like, where we going? So you're gonna play unlimited. And they had the little magazine they put me in, and Eric Mobley's brother was there too. Ron Mobley played, and just watching D. Frazier like a workhorse, posting up, hitting threes, just doing everything. It's like, Rod, do your thing, yo, here. You know what I'm saying? This is what you want to do. Then like the next week you playing with like Alamo, RIP Alamo. They'll take you to 55th to play and some of them games. It's like Kenny Satterfield. And like you just young, like, oh, word, they give me the ball. You just shooting and you feel good with shots is going through. You having the impact, and older dudes is like praying you, like, yo, he go to this school, that school. So he's like one of the players I could say I look up to, those three. And we like Derek Frazier was like a workhorse, like, you know what I'm saying? He was doing everything. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yo,
he was physical, like he'll bump you and everything, and play one-on-one with us. So it'd be like, yo, damn, I got to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely D. Frazier.
The fact that you said he took you down to play unlimited, and while he was doing this thing, he would pass the ball to you and tell you, like, this is what you want to do. Do it. And like, if this is something that you want to chase at, like, there's no better feeling than the OG passing you the rock and telling you to do your thing and give you the green light.
Because it's like, yo, like they say, yo, he's nice, he's good, but they're like, yo, you're gonna play unlimited. We need you. We don't care. Like, they'll tell one of their other friends don't come, and you'll just be playing like, oh, I'm about to start. Yeah, you start right now. And once you get them first shots start going in, you start making layups. You ain't scared. You battle tested, but you like, oh, I'm thinking like, yo, they about to go nuts. They just need me to pass them the ball and just be like a shadow. Like, all right, yo, yeah, you had a game. They like, nah, yo, shoot every time and do this and do that. Like, we ain't bring you here to be doing. All right, say no more. Started going like, no, not going nuts. Like just doing me, and it kind of worked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be looking to pass to him. Like, yo, just do your game. Because, you know, older dudes, they be like, yo, what you doing? And you'll be like, y'all got to pass the ball to him or get it to the post. You know what I'm saying? But he let me rock out, and I had good games. We kind of won that game for them, that chip. And Big Dogs, that was like 2004, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Seemed like yesterday, man. What was your transition like at Wings? Like once you got to the school and like, you know, I know you say you started playing early, you started, you know, getting your double-digit points, but like what was your transition like in high school, knowing that this is some place that you really gotta motivate yourself to do good both in the classroom and on the basketball court?
The transition was actually good, smooth transition. When you first came in, it was like only when you walk into Wings Academy, it looked like a post office. You know, our principal name was Mr. Cox. You know, shout out to him. He was a great principal when I was there. You know, you would walk in, you got the cafeteria, and the teachers was great, but it was just so hard because it was only 2 floors. You can't miss a day of school because everybody know who you are. So they're like, oh, well, what happened to you? You know, you on the team, so the bullseye was always on you. And when I first came in, you know, early on, you would have struggles with some of your classes, math, algebra, stuff like that early on, and some of your English, and then eventually you start focusing up, getting the work done. You'll have AP classes and things of that nature. So mine was a smooth transition because I had older guys that was there, was telling us how everything go. You're a freshman, you know, you got to do it like this. So they was already mentoring us. As far as basketball wise, it was like a smooth transition because I coached Tony Bergeron. That's at Scotland Prep right now. Shout out to him. Great coach. You know, he ran 5-star also. Made a smooth transition for us also because every summer we had to go to 5-star or we had 2-a-day workouts or, you know, it made it important that your academics be where it's supposed to be or you'll be out to school or playing nowhere else. Like, you know, I could have went to other schools because even when Danny Green School was calling me to go out to Long Island to play, different Catholic schools was calling to play. So I just felt like I need to be somewhere where I could shine more. And Wings gave me that opportunity to do that. So before I came there, like nobody was like going to that school like that. And I made it cool for younger dudes behind me to go to Wings. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody really heard of Wings too crazy until I got there.
You right about that. I never heard of Wings. I know it's a new school that came around, but you kind of put the school on the map. So definitely vouch for that.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of those type of things, and it was so cool. Like it's like a family environment at school.
Right.
To elaborate more, the custodian was actually cool. My man Berto, he used to come to Edenwald. He was from Cortland. With Piano was from Uwe, and in the mornings he was so cool. He was like, "Yo, I didn't even know how to drive, bro. I'm gonna be real." He was letting me drive to school. Like, "Yo, drive the car. Yo, turn this way, turn that way." Like he's so tired, and we just laughing. I get there, I'm in school. It was just like a family environment. The school, and it was so fun to the point where it's like the gym teachers felt away, like they thought y'all was getting too much privilege. You know what? I'm gonna fail you for gym.
Wow.
Look at the report card, like what? You know, if you failed gym, you were eligible. Like she ain't just do that.
You can't even graduate if you don't pass gym.
Like she failed all 8 of us for gym. She ain't just do that. You know what I'm saying? Go to the principal. You know what I'm saying? Pool, like, yo, listen, you don't change that grade. We out of here. It's over.
Right.
And it was like, I just failed them because I felt like they think they could do whatever they want. We're like, do whatever we want. Like we ain't doing that. We play basketball, we work out. How all the grades could be, other grades could be good, but you failed us for gym. Some of the dudes know what I'm talking about, like purposely.
And we love gym, so you know, roll out the ball and let's play some sports. We love gym.
And she just wanted to do that because they know, like, you can pass everything. You failed gym, you weren't eligible. They try to pull that stunt, like, oh, you're gonna have to go to summer school. All right, well, I'm gonna be out of this school. So you know, it was crazy like that too. But you know, ups and downs like any other school.
Yeah, very true. So what year did you say you started to come into your own when you knew, you know what? I could make this my house.
Sophomore year. Freshman year, a little bit coming in, you know, with seniors catching on. I was supposed to win the championship that year. Thanks to my boy Mike Glover at Monroe. Somebody ain't boxed him out. He tapped it in for the B division because we was B division the first year.
Right.
My sophomore year, we went AA or A division when they had it. So I would say
You were
more
the A
my
division,
sophomore
then
year,
y'all went to the AA.
double A, yeah. So I would say more my late freshman, early sophomore year, I felt like this could be me. Like this could be my school. I could put it on the map. And after all those seniors left, the coach, people was transferring in, wanted to transfer in, but it was like, yo, everything is on Yatu. You and Andre Tarver. This is basically gonna be y'all school now. Make it happen. Dudes, we could have transferred everybody in. Dudes just wanted to transfer in just because, but we wasn't recruiting people to go to wings. You know what I mean? Like other schools back, and it was like whoever came. You know what I'm saying, Paul? So that's basically what it was. Whoever came to the school. Like we wasn't calling dudes like, yo, we need to transfer in. Now everybody's teaming up like the NBA. These different high schools.
Because everybody want to play with the best players.
So if you was ranked pool, I'd be like, nah, I want to play against Lincoln. I want to play against that dude. I don't want to play with the Gauchos or Riverside. I was one of those players that wanted to play against these dudes.
You want the smoke. That's the only way you get better. If you want the smoke, you got to get it.
A lot of dudes are just teaming up and going to different high schools to be with their friends or win a championship. But we didn't really get the chance to do that at Wings, so it's a little different.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Who was let's just talk about the school right now. Who is your rival school? Like who's the school that in the neighborhood that y'all kind of win at it all the time and every year was a big thing?
I'm gonna say Columbus, Monroe, a little bit of Gompers. They had that crazy front line when I first came in with Ahmad and Stephen Cloud. They had a big front line, like 6'5" and 6'8" on the front line at that time. So I would say like those three schools was like and Kennedy. They had like Amari Fermin, the White Hardy, Johnny Mathis was like some of our rivals too. Those schools are like the rivals in the Bronx, like Kennedy, Monroe, Columbus, stuff like that. They was like the rival schools. So every year you knew you would see them in the Bronx borough, or we'd be going head to head in matchups.
I had Johnny Mathis, senior and junior, on the show, and a lot of people don't realize Johnny Mathis Jr. played for Savannah State, and he was a big deal. He averaged like 30.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big deal. I was actually supposed to go to Kennedy, no quiet as kept, but I ended up going to Wings for whatever reason. But Kennedy, I was supposed to be there. Johnny Mathis, still cool to this day. Legendary.
Yes,
Mr.
definitely.
Cow, shout out to him. Legendary.
Definitely.
He just did a combine I was at like 2 weeks ago. It was great to see those kids working out and seeing how the pro life will work. Is how you have to be in shape and working on your agility and speed and running. You know what I'm saying? Having teams from Canada come down, different high schools play against you. So he's been around a long time, Mr. Couch, and shout out to him. You know what I'm saying?
Who was your competition in the Bronx? Like when you knew, okay, we playing him tonight, so I'm putting up 35-40 tonight.
The high schools, growing up was old. I say it's a couple of older dudes. I would say like Elvis Laura, Dwight Hardy. Who else I could go to? I even say Mike Glover, Darian David, and them. Monroe. I even go to Truman with them. Geddes Robinson, and all of them.
So you had to put in work every night. There was no days off.
We played against Rice and them. It would be like Edgar Sosa, Curtis Kelly, and we could go on and on and on. It'd be tough. If we had to go play Robeson, it'd be MG3. You know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So if you go against Grady, it'd be like Wayne Turner and all of them. If you go against Cardoza, it'd be like Victor Morris and all of them. So it was never really a night off when you played in the PSAL. You would play a Catholic school team. It'd be stacked. Rice, you would have a whole stacked team over there with Kemba, Kashif Pratt, all of them. They'd be stacked up too. So it was different. You know what I'm saying? So no nights off. Now you might see a person at EYBL. You might have one or two high school players that's decent and good. Before, when you was coming up pool, you'd be stacked. You couldn't take no nights off.
No, because there's only 3 AAU teams in the city. It was Gaucho, Riverside, and the Broncos. That's it. So if you didn't play for any of those, you stayed home. So we were able to go on the road with the best players in the city for real. Right now, all the players are scattered out on 1,000 AAU teams. And that's why when we go out the city, we get now our butt kicked.
Right. Definitely.
It's
and
crazy.
I just found out there's a lot of trainers now. Everybody's a trainer now. So that should help. There's 1,000 trainers on that aspect. Not to get off topic. I just feel like if we bounce around too much, people bounce around and people don't know if this kid is really getting better or you're just going to 7 different trainers. I'm not saying you can't learn, But shout out to all the best trainers in New York that's putting on like they're supposed to.
No doubt. The ones that's the real ones, they know. The ones that's stealing money, they know too. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna leave it at that. But shout out to all my real guys, BG, Jerry Powell, my guy Mike Chavis, all of them out there that's doing the real deal. And then everybody else who I may have forgotten, man. Just keep doing your thing. As long as y'all helping the kids, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? That works. So now listen. Ra, I know you said you played against the guys in Brooklyn in high school. Now, I want to know, why do guys from the Bronx don't come to Brooklyn to play summer league basketball? Even to this day, guys in Brooklyn, we going up to the Gaucho gym and we going to play in hoops in the sun. And I rarely see the Bronx guys coming down to Brooklyn to play. And I had Shane, I talked to Shane about the same thing. I talked to Malloy Naismith from Harlem. Like, a lot of the guys don't come down to Brooklyn to play.
That's a great question. I'm thinking, I wouldn't say they're scared. I just think dudes are just lazy enough not to make the ride, or partially feel like they don't got the right file. Like, if I go down there, it might be some shit in Brooklyn, I might not make it back. So partially 50% dudes might
that's what I say. Hey, Corey, chill out, 50% Corey.
Might be dudes. I ain't going that far. But it's some dudes that will come. Like, we'll come. But if like, yo, who's setting it up? They got to be like, yo, Pooh setting it up, or Tiny Morton, or whoever it is setting it up. It got to be right. It can't just pop up in Brooklyn, because you still like the Brooklyn, the Bronx is kind of like the same. It kind of give it up the same way. Brooklyn is a little bit more greasy depending on where you at. So you going there for a basketball game, you could be running out of there. So dudes ain't crazy to go over there.
No, and it's crazy. And I'm just busting your chops, because me coming from Brooklyn, I understand the stigma that comes with people that live in Brooklyn, right? And they come from Brooklyn. I understand the stigma that we get. I know what we're doing down in Brevoort now. And I told Shane, I said, I got to have a team from the Bronx. I want to have a team from the Bronx. I want to have a team from Manhattan. I already got 3 teams from Long Island, so it shouldn't be any excuses, right? From all the boroughs and outside the boroughs, right? And then also what you doing and get with a team that's in Harlem or Manhattan, a tournament that's in the Bronx, tournament that's in Long Island, Queens, Staten Island. And we put together a real tournament of champions.
That'd be dope.
And it don't have to be backed by a sneaker company.
They don't.
We could do a grassroots style and make it mean something. And every year we kind of switch the site. You know what I'm saying?
Go to their park, this park, that park. And then everything
bring the city together, so kids learn how to interact with each other, not be afraid to travel, make sure that you're a key dude up in the Bronx. So I know if I bring my kids up, we good. Same thing in Brooklyn. Y'all bring your kids down, y'all good. And that's how we have to make sure that everything works right. So, that we spread this to the next generation. So when we older guys sitting up and we really can't do it as much anymore, we can pass the baton down to the next group that'll keep it going on.
That's what this is about. And like you said, bring unity to the communities that we missing. Like, these kids they're looking for a home. They can't find that love. Their father might be in jail. Their mother's at work working 2 or 3 jobs. So who's watching the kids? Who's mentoring them? So we got to be the ones to mentor them and let them know it's cool to travel to Brooklyn. It's cool to come to the Bronx. Don't care about what you hear. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes and teams feel like, oh, you got to go to Edenwater to play. I ain't going up there to play no basketball. They don't want to come there. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of got to say, yeah, it's by Cardinal Spellman. It's this, it's that. But now they feel like, the last 10 years has been safe. The tournament's going on. The crime rate is down. And we got the back end of the streets and the regular community. So the gang members, whoever they are, listen, we talk to y'all. This is what's going on, this and that. And they feel like they involved. Some of them's coaching. They got kids now. So everybody's like kind of changing and going in that right direction. They coming out and they trainers now. They coming out of prison. They reform. Like, I'm a trainer. I do this. I do that. My daughter, my son. So that's like the development and growth you want to see in guys where you like, I can trust him now. He actually coaching and he saying, oh, what you got in your bag? Nah, we ain't doing that. Let me check your bag just to make sure nobody got a gun. And he ain't even no security guard, but just having your back and making them believe, making that next generation believe. And just because you went to prison don't mean like you can't do nothing after that.
Facts.
It ain't over. So he ain't coming out there telling those stories about you need to be in the yard and cook somebody and you got older dudes that's older than us, old OGs that's telling those type of stories like they supposed to get a trophy. You ain't getting no reward for that.
Facts.
So don't even tell those stories to those younger dudes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing.
Nah, same thing. What we got going on in the Brevoort, man. The street guys said, man, long y'all just keep doing y'all thing. Keep our kids out of trouble. We're gonna make sure it's safe in the neighborhood. So salute to all my peoples, man. Appreciate you.
Salute to them, man.
Yeah, Corey said, I remember when Bingo brought Stephon to Jackson Projects when he was the best 13-year-old in the country. Right? Corey, you said it, right? Bringing Brooklyn to the Bronx, right? Okay. That's my guy, Corey, always on, man. Salute to you, brother.
So, I know right now your man Rod from Sean Bell's bringing a lot of players around now, too, also.
Yo, Rod need to bring his ass on the show. Always see him all the time. Salute to Rod, man. One of the best summer league coaches in New York City history.
Boy, that's
man.
my guy. Shout out to him. He always tried to get me to play with them, but I was a Bronx guy. And, you know, always when he was at ISA, even Unlimited, that's my guy, though. I got to give him a game one day, but it never happened. But he was always one of the rivals coming up in Unlimited and made it fun for everybody. Like, yo, Dad, we got to play against them. When I was playing like R2K, we made them put them on the map and start winning a lot of games, a couple of championships on the Unlimited scene.
Rod set the standard, man. So salute to Rod, man. Yeah, definitely a legend. So now, you, Rod, who ass did you bust early to let you know, I'm one of the top guys in the city? And it's no shade to who asked you bust, but you put up 2,000 points, fam. Not too many of us can say we put up 2,000 points. We were happy if we broke 1,000 or 1,500. You put up 2,156 points, which is crazy. So you had to bust a lot of ass.
Shit, I would say like I'm blessed with able to shoot the ball and shoot at a high percentage. Shit, I'm getting 11 shots a game. I'm doing 8 for 11 from 3. You know what I'm saying? Free throw line here and there. So I'm averaging like 12 threes a game. I'm making 9 a game. Plus, we're not counting the twos. So I'm going to just say the whole city. I can't even name no names. I'm just saying whenever I went up, I was going at it. Even Jersey dudes on the AAU scene against like Wayne Ellington and all of them. I went at them too, 42 points, different places. And my shit might go unnoticed because they beat us by 12 points and they play for 10 timers or whatever like that. They stacked up, Jerry Henderson, everybody. So they might go, who this dude? Like, and it's like, damn, you would have like me and Dwight, we'd be going at them, and more players like Corey Fisher, we'd be going at them. So ours might not be as heavy because they playing with over there with a more hyped up team and more bigger AAU program at that time. So I would say for me, the whole city, I was known for like, my shooting exploits and stuff like that. People would say, don't let him shoot. But it was just like, you can't stop somebody from shooting the basketball. You could deny him. I mean, I used to face boxing ones and triangle and twos. It didn't really work. You just give the ball up or you bring the ball up. And I just felt like shooting a high percentage is one of the reasons why I got those points. But I wasn't a volume shooter. I didn't need 20 shots a game just to get 15 points. You'll see some dudes shoot 30 shots just to get 12 points. You're like, damn. You'll look at your stat sheet, my stat sheet. You're like, damn, he took 26 shots, had 17 points. He was 8 for 12 and had 25 points. Who would you take? You know what I'm saying? So I think shooting at a high percentage was the reason why, you know what I mean? I got those points and free throw line too at a young age.
Wow. Corey said Corey should have made the NBA. To my Corey Fisher?
Yeah.
Listen, but when you shooting a high volume that you were shooting, was it with guys' hands in your face? Were you shooting over them screens and them boxing ones? Like, how did it come?
Every angle, except for a ball screen. So I would come down off a pin down, shoot. I would come off a screen, shoot. I would come down in transition and just pull up. And any way you want it. Some dudes are scared to close out because they were scared to foul me. So sometimes it would be a 4-point play. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting. You know how you close out and you don't let a dude land? That'd be like a 4-point play. So dudes would close out late. It'd be like so scared that they didn't know what to do. The ball will go around, get it back to you. Even if they say shooter, it'd be too late. You know, because I was shooting with range. I wasn't on the 3-point line. So
you was Steph Curry in high school.
Pretty much. That's basically what it was. I wasn't shooting. I was shooting NBA threes in high school. I wasn't shooting on the line. So you guarding that 3-point line, I'm all the way out here. So they're like on some shit like, fuck that. Boxing won that little motherfucker. Don't let him catch the ball. Excuse my language. And had to work from there. But I still could drive to the rim and make passes and stuff like that. And I played defense also. So it was just known for my shooting sports because I was just shooting at a high percentage. That's basically that.
That's real. How did your team do while you was there in your 4 years, the playoff situation, and how far did you reach?
I think it was solid. My last year was like one of the greatest seasons I had in history of the school. We was 31-1. We lost in the semifinals. We was undefeated the whole year, ranked top 5 in the city and top 25 USA Today for the whole season. And then that semifinal game, we got cheated at playing against Grady at St. John's. You know what I mean? It was a good game.
What year was it? What year was it?
This was 07, 06, somewhere around there. 06, I want to say. 06.
Who was the man of Grady during that time?
They had a bunch of people there, like Wayne Turner, I can remember. It was a little guy. That's my guy, Wayne Turner. Shout out to him. He remembered me saying, like, yo, that was crazy game. And, the calls was just going our way. I don't know. It's just somebody said something to the ref in the crowd, and one of the refs got scared. I ain't going to say his name on the show, but he just got scared. He ref my tournament now, but he just got scared, and the calls wasn't the same. And it was just like, bro, you got scared at Brooklyn?
Did you ever have a conversation with him afterwards to try to figure it out?
I always tease him about this. I want to say his name, but I shouldn't do it. Pool, if I
that's so good. No. So I don't need to know. You can tell me off the air. But I'm talking about, did you ever talk to him about that situation when you was in high school?
I ain't talked to him for like 15 years. I'm just talking to him as an adult right now, like later on. You know what I mean? Now I'm 33, 35. I can talk to him now, but before I couldn't talk to him at 17. And you know how pissed I was? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how pissed I was? Like, I'm so mad because I was supposed to go to the chip and win a chip. That was our thing. It was gonna be Lincoln versus us, or you know what I'm saying? And every year y'all was going to the chip damn near Lincoln and Tiny and y'all. It was like that was the mojo. Like, yo, we gotta play Lincoln. We wasn't even no disrespect to Grady. We wasn't even thinking about Grady. We was like, yo, we gotta play Lincoln in the chip. That's what it's gonna be. We're gonna beat Lincoln. Like, yo, we gotta beat them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when that happened, it was like, yo, did somebody throw you a bag to fuck up this game? Like,
yo, listen, like, the worst thing you can do is look past another team. Because when we won our first city championship in '86, Manhattan Center looked past us, who we beat in the city championship. Then we had to go to Glen Falls and play against Malloy, Archbishop Malloy, Kenny Anderson, and Ralph James.
Wow.
When I interviewed Kenny, they looked past us. I'll be bringing Arnold Bernard on soon, and I guarantee you, they was looking past us. The only people that wasn't looking past us was Binghamton and King Rice and them. And, we kind of stumbled against them in the state championship. But just imagine, listen to what you're saying right now. Right? Y'all was so focused on Lincoln, it was just like, Grady, whatever.
Right. But this is what happened, Pooh. It was like Grady wasn't bad. It was a good team. They could beat anybody.
Right.
It was just that, like, Grady felt like they wasn't going to beat us, and we knew that. They told me off the air, like, yo, that's crazy how they messed up the game. And I'm like, yo, that it's good dudes I'm speaking to, but it was just like, it was taken from us by the referees, more so Grady. You know what I'm saying? Close score games. How could you call, he about to shoot, you calling out of bound calls, and it's like nowhere near the line on out of bounds. We got the shit on film and all that. You like, damn, bro. He's nowhere out of bounds. Travel where? It was just crazy. Like, when it was key points to the end of the game, you started doing that. You wasn't making no calls for no other players and nobody else. Now you want to do this. When it was like, dang, they got to win. Like, did somebody give you a bag to mess up? But like you said, you can never overlook a team. And I feel like that was like one of the biggest things that I'm disappointed about. Or I'll be like, damn, we should have won that chip that year. But other than that, I feel like that was a great season. It was historical.
No, that's crazy right there. Yeah, being ranked in the country. Yeah,
it was historical. Great season. I couldn't complain about nothing. We just felt like we should have won it all. And we came up short in the Final Four. But teams after us came and won. Billy Turnage took over like the year after he won a chip in 2015. Shout out to my boy Billy Turnage.
Yeah,
And we
that's my
won some
guy.
B division championships before that. Before I came, also with Tony Tejada, Lance Tejada's son. R.I.P. to Tony Tejada. He was a good coach and mentor to me too at the Bronx Kings. Shout out to him. He would always talk to me and mentor me no matter where he was. Shout out Lance Tejada and his son. And he was winning like 2 or 3 B division championships before we even got there. So originally I was supposed to go there to play with him, and then Tony Bergeron stepped
Bring
in.
the phone
Shout out
down
to
just a
him.
little bit. Just bring the phone down a little bit if you can. There you go.
Shout out to
Who
him.
won it? Who won it that year that y'all lost to Grady?
Who won it that year? That was. I want to say that was in Kennedy. I think they won in my junior year. They won 05. I want to say that was
Hold up. I'll tell
Lincoln.
you right now.
I want to say that was Lincoln.
What year was it?
I want to say the 06 championship.
Hold up. 06.
Lincoln, was it Lincoln?
I'm gonna tell you right now. It was Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln. It was Kevin White and them, right?
Lincoln beat Grady.
Lincoln beat Grady, right?
Yep. Lincoln beat Grady. And listen, think about how crazy this is, right? This is how crazy this is, because Grady was our rivals. Grady's right across the street, right down the block from Lincoln.
Right.
And that was our rival. That was the game that each one of us, each school looked forward to every year. And to see them playing in the championship, I would have loved that during my era. That would have been so sick. I would have loved to see that game right there.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
What about Paul
It's
Robeson?
like y'all playing against y'all in Monroe.
Yeah.
Paul Robeson, they weren't in the Dix when I was in high school. Paul Robeson was the old Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Alexander Hamilton was coached by legendary coach Ray Haskins, who coached there. He coached Charles Jones at LIU, right? And he had some great players at Alexander Hamilton. He had 24 players on his team. And, you know, back in the days, they had a lot of players. 12 of them went Division I.
Right.
And two of them went to the NBA. So it's crazy. Crazy legacy. Then, years later, the school closed down, I think in my freshman year or the year before that. And then after I graduated, like in the 90s, then they created Paul Robeson.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So now, you know, you have a spectacular career at Wings, and the recruiting process is coming around, and you're getting high Division I's, mid Division I's, you're getting Division I scholarships from all over the place, and you realize you got to go to junior college. What was that feeling like? And, you know, how was your mind state during that time?
I kind of like got misguided through the whole process of the college. Recruitment, as far as like the SAT part and the ACT. I really didn't know about that process to maybe my late junior year, going to senior year. I had a tutor one time to try to get my SAT up and ACT up. We used to meet by Co-op City like every Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we used to pay a tutor to help me and get through the whole process. I think I was like short 40 points or something like that. And I think at that time, I was supposed to go. I still didn't get the score. They had something called the EOP program with Niagara, and I could have went there, sat out, whatever. Go about your family's financial, like, you know, if you're from the project, and you could get that type of thing. I kind of should have went to Niagara, and I could have sat out one year and then played 4. But I ended up saying, like, I didn't want to sit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Forget it. I go to Division I JUCO, so I just decided to go to junior college and then go to Florida A&M after, even though the early process, my sophomore year, Thurman was recruiting me from Wings to go to St. John when Mike Jarvis was there. But I was young. I used to see like Marcus Hatton and all of them playing like that, Ant Glover and all of them. And he was recruiting me to go there and had us on a visit, like a not official visit, but just like visiting out the campus. You would see like Corey Fisher there, the White Hardy, Truck Bryant, all of us was just in there. And those are one of the schools. So at that time, coming out of JUCO, I had like Cal Riverside, Pepperdine and all that. I'm visiting. I'm on the beach. I'm loving it. It's just like when I went to Florida A&M and I seen everything that was going on around there, I kind of got like side blindfolded, like, oh my God, turning this way, turning that way.
Yeah.
And it was an HBCU, and they promised me you're gonna be shooting the ball, you're gonna be doing this. So I'm like, I'm okay, cool. And I had all these other schools going. I was like, forget, I'm signing here. And it was just like the parties was crazy, the girls was crazy, and it kind of caught me out there. I'm like, I'm going here. You know what I'm saying? It was HBCU.
No, that's awesome, man. So look, you touched on something very important, and I could say, if I had this in my life, things would have been a lot easier, right? That mentor, somebody that could kind of guide you through that process. Because when you're the first one kind of doing it, and you get stumped with okay, you gotta get this amount of grades, and you have to get this SAT, and it's like, huh? Nobody told me about this when I first started, right? When I first started, no one told me. When the letters come in, everybody go, oh, by the way.
Yeah, it was like in Wings, we was cruising. Like, I'm getting a 75, 80. But if I know about, you know how high your grade got to be for your SAT score to be low, yes. I would have been striving just to get 80s and 90s instead of 75s and 80s. I would have get 95s and 90s instead of 80. And then they told me kind of late. And I just want to stay eligible because we just wanted to play ball.
Listen,
we wasn't taking academic
facts
really serious until they like, if you don't pass this class, get that grade. Or maybe this teacher could change the grades and go high. It was kind of like too late to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to you know what? I'm just gonna go JUCO. But I should have went to Niagara. I regret the JUCO route. I like it. I can't say I regret it, but I feel like I should have went to Niagara on the EOP program and sat out if I could do it again and just played at Niagara. And if they had a transfer portal where you could sit out and do all that stuff that they doing now, I don't know. It would have been different for me.
Or what about I could take my test now, get a certain amount of points, save it, take another test, and combine it.
I didn't know nothing about it. We couldn't do that.
No, now they can do it.
See what I'm saying? So I would have been eligible to go anywhere to play. The Paul wanted me this to. They were like, we wanted letters and all that. It was calling. It was coming. It was crazy. I got all these letters, official visits, called High Point, all these schools. I could go on and on and on. If I was home to pull out a bag of mail of official letters, handwritten letters, come to this school and the net and come over here, I would show you coming out of Wings. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, so I believe you.
It was just
I did that yesterday, talking about the colleges giving early offers, to like 8th and 9th graders, and they really haven't really accomplished anything.
Right.
And we're not talking about the super great kids like the Sweet Peas or E-Mobes or Kenny Andersons and things of that nature. I get that. So I understand, because the numbers you was putting up, I already know the amount of letters you were getting, right? And the pressure you was putting on other people, right? So if we talk about your next transition, that would be a kid from Etowah Projects going out to Texas. What was that like?
Texas was it was great, but the JUCO life, you ain't have no social life really. You know what I'm saying? It was just the campus and basketball. So it taught me a lot of discipline. It gave me a lot of time to think about what I want to do in life. If basketball didn't work out, basketball is one of those things my mom wouldn't be able to afford for me to go to school. So I was happy to have a scholarship and just get away from the project. You know what I'm saying? Get away from the projects and go somewhere far and learn and meet new different people. So JUCO was just it was fun, and it was kind of as far as social life, boring at the same time, but it taught us how to be disciplined, and it's like a prep year to get you develop for college, lift weights, work on your game. So you knew you was a Division I talent. You just didn't have the right SAT score, the ACT score, or back in the day where somebody could cheat for you to go to another college and go to a school. I ain't have
don't tell people in New York was doing that. It was on the regular.
My fault.
But the fact that you said it is just like
it was like cheat. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Some schools wanted me to sit out a year, wait, and then do all of that. Some schools, we don't have a scholarship if you do that. It was like, I want to go JUCO. And then some schools promised, and I just changed my mind. Was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to this school, Florida A&M. I'm gonna try to go to that school. I visited 5 or 6. I just fell in love with family, and I just went there and got my degrees, had a great time. And I was supposed to go overseas, sign some contracts or whatever. But that part had come up. Some things happened. We'll talk about that part. when we
Yeah,
get to
but
the
you still averaged 22 points, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a big drop off. You went there, Division I junior college, you averaged 22 points and was putting up some huge numbers. And then you know how the college visit go. Look, I was recruited by what my visits was Boston College, UConn, which we got my guy Kamani Young, right there. Assistant coach for UConn now.
That's my boy. He was coaching at New Heights.
Yeah.
Coaching we at Minnesota?
Nah, he had UConn.
UConn, yeah.
Right? I had Jacksonville, Indiana State, Fairleigh Dickinson. It was just like the choices, you know, and we all have our regrets. But again, look, they just built the Rothman Center, which the All-American camp was at, right? The kids know that gym was just like, okay, we're going to open up with this gym. I'm going to be the first guy to play here. It's popping. Plus, my teammate from Lincoln was there, Damari Riddick. It was close for home, but not too far. It seemed like it was far away, but it wasn't too far from New York. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy. Also, I'm glad you said Jacksonville State, not to cut you off.
No, it was not Jacksonville State. It was Jacksonville University.
Oh, Jacksonville State we supposed to go to.
Oh, okay.
They was calling us like, yo, as a full package, Geddes, Robinson, Edis, and somebody else. We all went to Nick Murphy. And when Nick Murphy went, was supposed to take us as a package, 4 players to sit out 1 year and play 4. I could have did that too, but I didn't even do that. I was like, I'm already going JUCO. I signed.
We talking about the Jacksonville. You talking about Jacksonville State or Jackson State?
Gamecocks, whatever the Gamecocks is.
Wow,
that's a true
crazy.
Story. Nick Murphy went there. He'll tell you that story if you ever come on.
Wow, I'll tell you something crazy, right? My guy, Roger Lewis. I don't even, if he hear this, I don't know if he knows this, but I remember we were supposed to be a package deal for Maine, but it came with a Happy Meal, and I was just like, just imagine, you know, I just was seeing Lloyd Daniels caught up in this scandal and UNLV and what happened, and I was just like, I don't want to be the next guy on ESPN in the scandal, so let me just do this the right way and get the hell out of Maine before we be in trouble. But yeah, it's a lot, man. But again, when you put this thing together by yourself as a youngster, 17, 18 years old, 19 years old, whatever it is, 20, you making this all up in your mind because you don't know. You're the first one to go through it. But if you have someone to kind of guide you through it and walk you through the process, it makes the process a lot easier. It just makes everything a lot easier. So
that's a fact. Now we host panels about the NCAA clearinghouse, helping kids get cleared or what they should do. Where I feel like coaches back in the day should have did that, should have told us about that, and we should have took our grades more serious also. So, you know, there's nobody to blame. You know, I'm gonna blame myself for all of that stuff.
That's right, man. How was your transition into the real world once college was over?
I would say like everything, all the fun, like I would say stops because now all the bills you got, everything you want to really do in life and accomplish gets harder. You want to get this home, you want to own your business, and you want to get back to your community. All that gets hard and it's difficult, like just to do because now you're on your own.
You want to step outside now? I think your battery charged. We don't got that much time to go this way. People can kind of see.
That's good.
There you go. You perfect. You can be right there. You good. Yeah. So that transition into the real world, right? Because this, for us ball players, is not as easy. If I even talk to some guys who played in the NBA, and we talk about after the game is over, how was the transition? And it's not as easy as it looks. And continue with yours before you got out of the car.
When coming out now everything was paid for in college. You ain't have to worry about nothing. Just going to class, having fun. And now when you get out, you can't go to. I can't go to my mom's or go to my pops or anybody ask for nothing. So I had to be a man and take care of my soul, take care of my family. Had to move my mom's from a rough neighborhood out of the projects and move out of there. And now just come back to get back. So life after basketball is real hard because it was just all fun and games, and you was just going through the motions and trying to escape it. You know what I'm saying? Basketball was one of the ways we escaped the reality of living in the projects and going through a bunch of poverty and stuff like that. So it was hard. You know what I'm saying? It's still hard to this day, but it's more smooth process for me because I understand now more as an adult versus me being 17 or 18 or 21 graduating. You know what I'm saying, from college. You know what I'm saying? So now it's because you still didn't know. Like, you're still trying to figure things out. You're still young. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So now I kind of got it figured out. Still learning.
That's real, man. Do you mind sharing with our audience about that career-ending knee injury that you suffered?
Yeah, career injury. One day, I signed a contract to go overseas to play in Germany, and I had one from Russia. The agent we signed. I'm supposed to go hang out with my girlfriend at the time, right before I go overseas. But my cousin had a party going over there by like 164 Yankee Stadium, some bum ass bar party. I go. I'm just coming from college. I'm finished. Whatever. I'm chilling. Whatever. You graduated. Congratulations. Boom. I'm working out, ready to go. Go to the party. Chilling after we leave. You walk into the car, you ain't thinking nothing of it. I'm on the phone, you thinking you texting your shorty or whatever. I'm about to come in your house, boom. Or you hear while I'm walking into the block, walking with my brother and his friend, you get pop, 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 shooting, dude run off, whatever, they ducking, hiding. I ain't even feel nothing or nothing. I just see a hole. I look down, I got a hole in my jeans.
Wow.
I'm in the car, like what the? I'm just like, fuck. I'm banging the dashboard. I drive myself to Lincoln Hospital. I got shot in the leg, grazed the bullet, hit me in the left leg. Had to tell her that I can't go. I got injured. I had a family emergency. Try to rush back, rehab, rush back. Went over there. Knee started swelling up. Wasn't the same as athletic. Could shoot. I still could shoot, still could play, but I wasn't as quick. And I had to come back home to do another surgery. I had to tell them I got to leave. My legs start swelling back up again. As you know, when you get overseas the first time, the first thing they do is start running you. So I'm running. We doing lifting weights in the morning, and my shit swelled up. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, swelling. It wouldn't go down. I had to come back home, get another surgery. I decided, forget the overseas route, started my business, got a house, had my nonprofit organization, and started to get back. Wasn't thinking about playing pro no more. I feel like my opportunity was taken away from me for somebody else's negligence. Playing with guns and just doing whatever, and it cost somebody that's important in their life, their career. Well, I kind of could have been like some of my friends that played overseas, and they got the couple of millions, and they could take their family out as quick as they did versus me. I had to go to an alternate route. So I say this to say that when you're important and you're a basketball player and a student athlete, you got to watch the company you be around, whether it's family, friends, because you just never know what's going to happen. And, the streets is very, very nasty, and people just shoot with no regard. So I don't know what it was about. So I got hit like as an innocent bystander in the course of my career. Just shooting, somebody shooting.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry to hear that, brother, man. But to everybody out there that's listening, what y'all listening to is the background of New York City. If you're not from New York City, then you have no idea what's going on in the background. This is what New York City sounds like. So this is why I wanted my brother to step outside so y'all guys can get the authentic feeling of what New York City sound like. And we're not talking about the gunshots, because there were no gunshots going on. My guy got hit in a situation he had nothing to do with, but he transformed himself to a better person to give back, to make sure kids, don't go down go down the path that he did, but he could direct them now, because we talked about there was too many people that was able to direct us, because you went through it. You know what it's like to be a big time player. You know what it's like to be a big time scorer and a shooter. You know what it's like to get recruited and pick schools. You know what it's like to, go to the clearinghouse, because you're doing workshops for that now. We didn't have that. Our guidance counselors are now getting trained for that.
Right. Which is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I salute all the young people. I really didn't tell. Some people know the story. A lot of people don't know the story. But I tell all the young people, they always ask, so why you didn't play over here? Why you didn't go this? And then some of them don't really know they're young. Some of them do. Like, I got a documentary I'm working on to come out, telling the whole story, like basically about your life and the transition of everything, what you don't want the next generation to go through. You know what I'm saying? Similar to like a Lenny Cook story, but it's not. Mine is more of a traumatizing story where my opportunities was taken away as far as playing at that level. So you work your whole life, you may not go to the NBA, right? Granted, but you work your whole life to play at a pro level, to be playing, to get paid, and then, boom, somebody just take the opportunity away, negligence of a gun, and you're like, damn, I've been working my whole life, half of my life, just to get to this part. So mentally, I had to be there. Like mentally, I was all over the place when it first happened. After that, I was thinking some crazy stuff. What should I do to the person? This, that, and then it kind of like came to my senses. Like I still play for fun and play with the kids and playing. I could play in little local leagues, but as playing at a high professional level.
Oh, we know the difference, right?
It wasn't gonna be that way. Like I could still shoot and go to these little leagues and play with y'all, whatever. I'm good, but as far as like playing at that high level, when they see you on film, it's just not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I say this to say that, like watch the company you keep and try not to be at every party because, like you said, New York City is just not as we think it is.
Nah, it's not sweet out here. It's not sweet out here at all. Speaking of that, I'm actually looking for something because I'm actually working on something now myself. I'm not gonna put it out till Christmas. Just the trailer, right? I'll give people like a sneak peek. Hold on. Hold up. Like as you saying, right? Because hold up. Basketball is the savior. Basketball is the savior for a lot of us.
Okay.
Come from a neighborhood where there's drugs, crimes, and gangs, and this basketball kept us out of trouble. So my mother knew if I was going outside to play basketball, she knew I was safe. She knew where I was going to be. All right, that's all I'm gonna put out right now.
I see you started yours early.
That's all. Look, and
that looked good though.
It wasn't.
That looked good.
I got. If you haven't started on yours, definitely got a company. My guy has a company from South Carolina, and one day I was sitting. They came up just to do some other stuff with my guy, and they were just listening to my story. And one of his, camera guys was just like, "Man, that should be a documentary, like this, your life and the stuff you've been through." I was like, "Y'all can shoot it if y'all want it." The next time they came up, my guy was like, "Yo, we coming up," and then they was just watching the tournament, right? Yeah, that's all good. I love the background sound, right? They was watching the development of the tournament, and how I got the court fixed, and thanks to Full Court Peace who came up and helped you guys out as well.
Definitely, shout out to them, Full Court Peace.
You know what I'm saying? So and just all the politics and the hoops we had to jump through, and to have a successful tournament for a tournament that been going on since the 70s and haven't been around for 30 years. So that was the idea that we started to work on, and we're gonna lead it all the way up to next summer to the tournament, right? So we're gonna have that all shot out. But like I think around Christmas, I'll release the whole,
That's
trailer.
dope, man. Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
I'm definitely working on my joint now. As I started Granada Built to Win Classic in 2013. We started out just having shirts, just t-shirts, just to keep the neighborhood safe, and dudes were just scrimmaging. It was just like started out as a weekend thing, and then next 2-3 years after that, we started for a whole summer and just keeping kids off the street, and we started liking it. The course is horrible. Like you thought your court was horrible, bro. Our courts had it was worse. Grass growing out the floor, and it was like the gel backboards on it. Like
you saw the video that I put up, right?
It was like
it looked like an empty pool. It looked like an empty pool.
Yeah, it looked like an empty pool, and it was the same way. And I went to Home Depot, bought some paint. I spent all my money. You got to get it reimbursed. Had people painting the floor. That had the kids helping me paint the floor. This was before Mike Full Court Peace got even involved. He got involved this year, but before that, I was spending the money painting my own park and putting up my own stuff, and it's still not fixed up the way it's supposed to be, but it's halfway decent now. We're changing the fiberglass backboards and stuff, and making the quality of life for kids growing up there. Because I knew as a kid that wasn't fixed. I always had to go to other parks, so I just wanted that park to be available for the next 10, 15 years around. If I'm not around, I could pass the torch to somebody else to keep it going. Whether you got the kids, cousins, families, aunts, to keep it going. So that's basically how that tournament got started. And when that tournament's going on, the crime rate is down. It's low. We also a nonprofit. We teach mental health, suicide prevention, tutoring, character development. We got social workers on hand. So we really got to take these kids out the street where A lot of dudes I see now that when they finish playing ball, they result straight back into the streets. Like basketball's over. Or some kids try to do both. You know, you can't do both. So,
Yo, somebody put up a post the other day and saying, why do this generation or dudes, and we can't say really this generation because I know a lot of gangsters that play ball, right?
right.
But it's like this generation, once the ball is over, they become drug dealers or gang members. It's like, okay, nothing is working out for me, so I'm also just do this. You know,
Right.
where there's so many other options out here, very limited when I was coming up, and as the time got, you know, later on as we get older, there was more opportunity that was able to be created, right? And you named yours Granada, built to win. Why you came up with that name?
Granada was the name of our block. You know where we lived at. It was called Granada. So I kept it as Granada at that time. I was young when I named it, and I just named it Built to Win because we was always built to win. You know, we was strong. Built to Win could be for anything. So our other portion of our program is Built to Win Health and Wellness class we have. You know what I'm saying? Sports league. It's different branches all. So Built to Win Classic is a tournament. We used to have it as Granada Blacktop Classic because the floor used to be straight black tar. But we changed it back from Blacktop Classic to BTW Classic. So that's why I named it that. I named it after like the neighborhood.
What are your plans for the future, and how could we, you know, we talked about coming together to assist each other, but what are your plans for the future for the Granada Built to Win organization, and what do you have planned as the other thing that's going to reel more kids in to your program? Because that sounds like a great idea what you're doing, brother.
Try to enroll more kids. Suicide prevention program we got. Get more kids involved with that. We got mental health grant. Get more kids involved with that. Things that's not doing with basketball. Job training, job readiness, resume ready. Help them get their CDL. We want to train just to be drivers and men or women. Get their OSHA. Financial literacy. Teach them how to take care of their money. How important credit is. You know, we want to bring those real living things back into aspect, or teaching them how to cook. You know, things that's not involved in basketball, to take care of yourself on a next level when basketball is not involved. Because, you know, at one point, pool, the ball just stops for everybody. No matter if it's good, bad, the ugly, you Father Time hit us, as Charles Barkley would say. And you got to learn how to take care of yourself. So we want to teach them learn how to live, how to write a letter. So those are things that we bring into the program that's more that we want to give back to kids. You know what I'm saying? Where we could take 25 to 50 at-risk youth that's going battling, just getting to school on time, or battling with their social and emotional issues, and be able to talk to them and have restorative circles and have family dinners with them. And, you know, kids never really had family dinners growing up. I never really sat at the table all the time with my moms and had family dinners with my brother. It was like you ate, you know, next day you got to shower and you got to be to school. You got to catch that train. You know what I'm saying? So we never had those traditional family dinners, only on Thanksgiving, like certain holidays, Christmas and stuff like that. So that's what I want to bring to the program for us. Also, I got coming up in the spring, I wanted to do like a pro tour, either go overseas or have the overseas scouts come over here. My old agents come over here and scout some talented dudes that could possibly maybe get a tryout or get a deal at one of the lowest leagues, or just try to work their way up and get that experience so they're not wasting their talent. We want a team from Canada to come over here and scrimmage during All-Star game, to come to Granada. We want to also come out to your tournament, be one of those Bronx teams to come out to Bridgeport and support you, vice versa, and also do that All-Star game we said we are going to do, and also put some workshops together. Like, you know, when we come there, we feel like it's home for us. When I go to Bridgeport, Brooklyn, it's home. You come to Edenwald, it's home. We go to Lincoln, it's home. Wherever we go, all over New York City, it's home. Like, we're not divided. Where eventually we could put together our own AAU tournament and do something in Brooklyn, the Bronx, or something like that. So those are some of the things I'm working on long term.
That's awesome.
And get kids scholarships. You know, evaluate the talent and find them a school. Try to get them for free. If not, fit them somewhere where it goes. If they're not playing basketball, you know, they could be a firefighter, they could be a doctor, they could be a lawyer. So have them think different.
So it's another thing I'm gonna throw at you, King. December 19th to January 3rd, New York City great Cardinal Hayes is St. Bonaventure legend Sam Graham will be coming to New York City. He's a legend out in the Netherlands, right? He's also an agent out there as well. and you talked about you want to get guys jobs overseas.
Right.
This is our opportunity and chance to do it. So when he come to the city, I'm gonna hit you up, and when we go break bread, we can sit down. You can tell them your ideas and what you have to offer, and the players that you know that's probably need a shot, and we see what we can do.
Definitely, I definitely appreciate that. I'm more open for that. You know what I mean? At one point, I thought about being an agent and evaluating talent, but that's a whole nother lane that I might work towards. But you know, I'm interested in learning the game as much as it's possible.
Nah. Definitely, brother. We gonna make
without
some
even
things
getting
happen.
a payment. Like, yo, here, I just want the opportunity for them.
No
just
doubt.
To get the experience to see where they could go with. If not, you know, you tried it and you still great. You know what I'm saying?
If you could change one thing about your basketball career, what would it be? I know you mentioned the Niagara move, right? You mentioned that to the audience already. But outside of that, if you could change one thing about your basketball journey, what would it be?
I feel like I should have as far as I would have known about the nutrition factor more, eating better, training a little better, harder, like hiring a trainer, like a pro trainer or athletic trainer to teach me how to, like, you know, being able to jump higher, dunk at the time versus pure just skill. I think that's one thing I regret. I feel like I should have ate better and had a better trainer and slept better. You know, hang out late at night, you know, messing with different girls, going to sleep at 3 a.m, got a game at 8, stuff like that. I feel like I would have changed that about my career. Took it more serious on like a black mamba mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like Kobe Bryant used to work out. I feel like if I would have had that installed in me at a young age, like if that was like a mentor as far as basketball wise, I would have been much better than what I was now. So
Gotcha.
That's one thing I would change.
That's
Like nutrition
dope,
part. Not saying like we was fat out of shape, just felt like things that you eat would have made you feel different. Like, you know, you wouldn't be as tired or you wouldn't feel sluggish. Not like you could put on, but I feel like if I was like that and this guy was training me like this, it would have been way different. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron James, right now, right off topic, he wasted $1 million on his body. Not saying we was poor, we didn't have the money to eat like that, but if I could have something similar, like, yo, you got a chef, you could eat this, you could eat that, it would have been different.
Yeah, we put
the chopped cheese.
Chopped cheese, fast food, the thing that we know now. Again, this is why the mentor aspect is so important, because the knowledge that we have now, we can pass that on to the next generation.
And I always want to know what would happen if I went to a Catholic school or one of these schools with more of the politics on my side, or how it would have turned out for me. Like, that's one of the, not regretting that I went to Wings, but what if there's like a what if I would have went to this school. They was asking for me with Danny Green and all them, or this school, that Catholic school in New Jersey that wanted me, like 8 of them. What if after my freshman year, it would have been different from me? What if I played with Tim Thomas players or something like that? You know what I'm saying? What if? Like, so when they asked me, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I feel like I did it my way, and, you know, I'm satisfied. But those are the things I could have changed. Better AAU team, ball, like, you know, I still was killing like round ball and stuff like that, but if I would have had more of the political teams on my side, I think I would have had more politics. But I never had no politics, bro.
Well, listen, politics as usual. Sometimes it can hurt us, sometimes it can help us. So, you know, be careful what you wish for. You know what I'm saying? You still here, and you made it to basketball heads, man. So you got to do something right.
Right. Appreciate that.
No doubt. So now we're going to get into the top five. Listen, brother, I know you're talking about the politics, but no need to be politically correct now, because you're going to have to keep it 100. Top 5 players in Eden Wall history. Top 5. Only 5. Only 5.
I'm not going to be biased, but I'm putting myself in the top 5. I'm sorry. It don't got to be no number. I'm sorry. It don't got to be no number, bro. I'm just going to put myself in I'm going to put the bear. Got to put the bear. That's like no-brainer. Got to put E-Mo.
Mm-hmm.
Got to put Marion Cash. That last shot got to be at least, it got to be somebody. It got to be the D-Frey, Shane, Scoochie.
You only got, are you naming up? You trying to be politically correct, man.
You be in that last spot.
Who only, I can't pick it. You got to pick it.
I'm going to have to put my man Scoochie Smith.
Got you.
That's my top 5.
Got you. Got you. Respect. All right.
Only because he played Division I, he played pro. Right? I can't just leave. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. You
Not
don't gotta
leaving the other
explain.
dudes out neither. It could have
Look,
been if it was
see,
top
he
10.
being politically correct. You see, he played the political game. This is top 5. Straight gunner. It's all good. Now it's time to get you some more trouble, my guy. Top 5 players in Wings Academy history.
Oh my God. Let me see. I'm definitely going with myself. That's by far a choice.
He put himself in everything.
We gotta that's not
no,
even
man, you the school lead
correct.
scorer.
You
You the school lead scorer. That's right. I got it.
I'm gonna say I like my young boy Jordan Aaron. He played 1 year there. I like Jesse, the big man that played there.
Yep.
I like Jose Perez. That was at Manhattan. Some other guys that's about. I like. Damn, that's 4. I say I say Deshaun Bowie. I like his game too. 5.
Yeah, he's taking the easy road. He said, I'm gonna put myself in
there.
it.
Yeah, I like Deshaun Bowie.
And then we'll name 4 other guys, but I'm on every team.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm not even being political correct. I'm just being honest.
No, I get it.
Only part they can take from me is like that the not playing the pro part, but that's because of what happened to me, not because I couldn't. Like, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
I went for a little bit, but if my legs swelled up, I gave it up. I stopped it, like,
No doubt. Top 5 players you played against.
Pros. I'm gonna have to name pros. Played against Ron Artest, Hoops in the Sun. I was giving him work. Like, what school you going to, youngin? This when I was going to JUCO, going crazy on them. KD, Chandler Parsons.
Where KD at?
KD in the league.
Hello, I know who you talking to. I know. Where did you play against him at?
Oh, he was playing with the DC Blue Devils.
Got you.
OJ Mayo.
Okay.
And
was OJ Mayo? Now we know he went to the league, and I see what he did in high school. When you played against him, was he that deal?
He was good money. I ain't gonna front. He was good money. Okay. I feel like a little overhyped, but he was good. I give him his props.
Okay.
How many was that? That's 4.
Let's go again. I know
AJ
you said
Price.
KD. You said Ron Artest. Who else you said? OJ Mayo.
KD.
You said KD. That's 4. One more.
AJ Price is tough.
AJ Price. Yes, he was. I definitely know that. Facts. All right, brother. Now we're going to talk about your knowledge of New York City basketball. It could be who you know and who you think is the top 5 players in New York City history.
It don't matter what
Don't make a difference. The top 5 players in New York's history that you know about. I'm not even gonna say, you got to go back to my era and no. We're gonna talk about the top 5.
I'm gonna be wrong, but I just gonna say any top 5. I'm not gonna put myself in top 5 New York City. But I'm gonna just, I ain't gonna be no bias. I ain't gonna, even though I should, but hey, I ain't gonna put myself in top 5, Pooh. But I'm gonna go with myself, Rod Jenkins. I'm gonna go with Pooh Hardy.
This the only one that you can't. And I'm joking. I'm not top 5. I'm not.
I'm not top 5 New York. I'm gonna go like I'm gonna even go back to the old day. I'm gonna say Tiny Archibald, Ross Strickland. Put some OGs in there.
Tiny Archibald, top 50, like Hall of Fame.
Tiny Archibald,
leading assists, leading scorer.
Ross Strickland. Who else I'm missing?
Gotta help him out. Yeah, I think he's getting stumped over here. New York City great.
I'm trying to put the legendary dudes in there. I'm gonna have to put my guy the Bear in there.
Yes, I can see you doing that.
Olympic,
definitely. Either war. Yep. Facts.
That's 3.
Yep, you got 2 more.
I would say Pearl Washington, but R.I.P. Pearl Washington. Let me see.
Pearl Washington, let me tell you. And this give you a chance to think about your last one, right? In between Tiny, because Tiny was like the standard back in the days for point guards. There was like a 20-year gap between when Tiny came out, maybe about 10, 15 years gap between Tiny and Pearl when Pearl was hot. And when Pearl came on the scene, there was an explosion of point guards. Like I'm talking about like just explosion. The Kenny
I'll put
Smith.
Kenny Anderson too.
Yeah, another one. And he looked
Kenny
up to
Anderson.
Pearl. Then Mark Jackson, Kenny Smith, Kenny Hutchinson, Kenny Patterson. It was just so many. John Johnson, Boo Harvey, Ross Strickland. It was so many point guards that just came out after that. Was just crazy. And
even Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, Stephon. And even before Tiny Archibald, we had Lenny Wilkins.
Yeah, I
another top
Lenny
50,
Wilkins too.
Another top 50 player from Brooklyn.
I might have to throw Lenny Wilkins in there before Pearl.
You know what I'm saying? Top 50 player, boys and girls, or boys
Lenny
high.
Wilkins.
You know? No doubt. Well, listen, brother. Look, it was great having you on the show, man. I'm glad we was able to make it happen. And I keep telling people all the time, this has been a long time coming. It wasn't like we just planned this last week or the week before. This has been going on back and forth, texting each other for a long time, man. But finally, we got you on here, man. We want to give you your flowers and say, man, we want to celebrate you and let you know you definitely one of the top players in New York City history. And thank you for everything that you gave the city and still representing in the right way.
I appreciate coming on your show and giving me my flowers while I'm still here. It means a lot from Brooklyn to the Bronx. We're going to do some more work together, and I'll be on here more, brother. I appreciate you. Love is love.
Doubt. No doubt. Always, brother.
Thank
appreciate you. Yeah. There you go. From the BX to Brooklyn. That's how we do, man. You know, got to keep that New York City brotherhood and, of course, that sisterhood. See? Y'all check out the amazing interview with Coach Shanae Joy Jones, who run the Our Game program, right? I think I'm saying it correct. Let me make sure I got this correct. Yes, right? So, when you're going through trials and tribulations, sometimes you got to look within yourself and figure out the next step. You got to figure out the next step to where you're going, or you don't know where you might end up. And the challenges that set before you when you're a basketball player, like my guy Eric Weaver would say, you have to be a student athlete. When nobody's guiding you, you got to get the correct information. You have to be able to guide yourself when you don't have that person guiding you. You got to ask questions to make sure that you are heading in the right path, to make sure you know where you're going. Because if you don't know when you might end up. So I want to salute my guy, Rasheem Jenkins, for coming on the show. And make sure you guys subscribe. Spread the word. Let everybody know. The Basketball Heads podcast is on NYC Basketball Network. And make sure you check out my homegirl, Coach Shanae Joy Jones, with the Grow Our Game, right? I want to make sure I get that right. She coaches some of the greatest high school ball players on the girls' side of New York City. So she's starting them early, and she's the only free program out here. So, some people with some grants and some people that's, some sponsors to help this young lady out and keep this thing going so she can help more kids. Because that's what it's about. We got to build the kids up. So we're going up to the Bronx to see what we can do to help out my guy Ra, because he's helping out 300 kids each summer out in the Eden Wall projects. Salute to my guy, Shane Dribble Machine Money, and congratulations on, being a Hall of Fame player at Westchester Community College, brother. Salute to you. And Ra, keep doing a great job, man. Keep doing a great job. And those people who want some merch, contact me, man. We got them hoodies, man. We got right? See the logo. Always show y'all the shirts. We got the hats too. You heard? We got the hats. We got them, baby. Yeah. Basketball Heads Live, the official home for New York City basketball. That's how we do. Peace.